I'd hope to go through Edusocial as far as corporates that are providing online courses for building communities, community networking. But I only got half the research done. And I know I could list all the low-hanging fruit, like Facebook has Facebook courses and Google has Google courses and Cisco has Cisco courses, but I wanted to do a little bit more than that, which we will do. So let me just see. Hello YouTube, hello Twitter, hello Facebook, hello LinkedIn, and who am I missing? Oh, the other Facebook. Everybody's on. That's good. I just have to double check because with restreaming it's always a little bit iffy. If you've got any questions about content marketing for online courses, please let me know, because I've swapped out corporates that do Edusocial for creating content calendars and all the different kinds of content calendars. So we're going to go through that today. And I just thought it might be more practical and more useful to do that. And I've only got a short amount of time, so we can do that one fairly quickly. When I say fairly quickly, we know me and what I'm like. Yabbering on all the time. Where am I going to go? Top right, I think. How's the sound? Looks okay. Still that buzz. Don't know what it is. Doesn't happen if I don't use the black magic. If I use other things, it goes away. Never mind. All right, so what I want to talk to you today about, let's move this one over, is first of all, creating your social media planners and what they should look like. And secondly, sort of how you structure them. So once you've got an idea of what you need. So I'm going to show you that one. And then the third one, this is really quick, it's got to be in like 20 to 25 minutes. The third one is just a couple of the tools that let you create the content, schedule the content, and distribute, redistribute, do whatever it is you need to do across many social media platforms. Good. That sounds like the thing I wanted to do. So let's get started. When I'm creating social media planners, I actually get a physical book. I find it easier to get a coffee, go and sit in the sun and write these up. But I like to have a content planner. And a content planner is where you give away information to show your thought leadership, your expertise, or whatever. So for example, this lecture, I do normally 1 hour lectures and I give them away for free. That's part of my content planning. Yes, sometimes I'll put up a little screen like this to say, I actually have a job. I actually have a business. But most of the time I'm doing articles or a series or how-tos. They're called, you can do listicles, like the list of the top 10, whatever your course is, top 10, for me my course is the social media, top 10 social media tools, or the list of the top 10 influencers on Instagram in photography, or the list of the best banks on social media. So you can create that kind of content. And I don't know about you, but for me, I've been teaching this stuff for such a long time. This stuff is hot and cold, running out of my fingers. Like it's pretty easy for me to create that kind of content. Your promotions planner is Facebook ads or Instagram ads or LinkedIn ads, competitions, for instance, an Instagram competition or a Facebook competition or wherever you're running the competition. Ebooks, giving away ebooks. Ebooks are not content because they don't get the book unless they give you their email address. So there's a trade, and so there's a call to action and a trade, and email sign-ups. And yes, I'm aware I've spelled that wrong. I thought I'd corrected it and redone it, but obviously I hadn't. Email sign-ups. I'll put this up on my blog later, so if you can't see it clearly because you're on some teeny weeny little iPhone, you'll be able to see it clearly. The content plan is to build awareness of you. So when people come across a video of mine or yours or somebody else's that's content based, it's fully in marketing. It's purely about building brand awareness, brand loyalty, brand love. It's the marketing side, not necessarily the sales side. And there's a lot of temptation to just on social media just spam out sales, call to actions, sales stuff. And you really want to mix it up. So your promotions planner, yes, you can have a call to action for coupons and things like that. But you don't want everything on social media just to be that. Just to be a call to action. The third one is your engagement planner. So there's a temptation, especially when we have a lot of rich content, for us to provide content to our network all the time without asking for feedback. So one of the things that I do is in the networks that I'm close to and that I'm engaged with a lot, I ask them questions so that they feel that they had some input and they help co-create content with me. As an example, before I do the Thursday lectures, I ask around, this is what I'm going to be talking on, what would you like me to include? Which reminds me, I put up one late in a couple of groups, so I need to just see very quickly if anybody answered, because they'll give me a smack on the wrist if they said something and I didn't respond. And quite rightly too. Nope, they didn't. They're all just laughing at some jokes of mine. It's even better. So your engagement planner is to reward and recognize your community. I notice with a lot of communities, especially there's one at the moment that's run completely by guys and they completely ignore the women in the group. It's bizarre. But that rewarding and recognizing a member of the community that's doing great work, that's really helping the community, and that to me goes in the engagement planner. So it's not creating a top 10 list or how to do something, which is content, and it's not a competition and it's not an ad to buy something. It's just that this week I really want to recognize Joe or Jim or Jane for being a fabulous contributor and helping us solve a problem and whatever it is they're doing. And one of the reasons you do that is there's an element in gamification of behavioral modeling, so you reward the behaviors that you want people to continue with, if that makes sense. So if you see somebody creating content around your courses, like they do a review of your online course, or they put up an Instagram photo of something they created after doing your pottery course, or they do a YouTube video of themselves speaking in Italian after your Italian language course, then reward and recognize. That goes in your engagement planner. Obviously, you may not initially have a lot to reward, but with the brands that I work with, we might set aside Friday. So Fan Photo Friday is a big one. That's on that list. We share content, not from influencers, just from people who are really engaged with our content. And the comment calendar. If you're a small business, a solopreneur, teacherpreneur, and you're struggling with the amount of content, set aside a day where you will, 1 hour, where you will respond to comments. So I see some online course creators say things like, open office is on Wednesday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. You can ask me questions there and I'll answer them. And another one is if you put up a video on YouTube, maybe under your content planner, but you can also say that you respond to comments, Thursday mornings or something. AMA means ask me anything, town hall, that kind of thing. What else do we have here? Okay. Influencer planner. When I use the word influencer, I'm not necessarily talking about some young thing on Instagram that's got his or her top off and is showing us their abs, okay? I understand that that's how the press represents influencers, but that's not reality. What the press is doing is trying to deflect from the fact that they no longer rule. They no longer have, it's not critical for PR to get something in front of a journalist in order for it to go in a newspaper or on a TV show so people will find out about it. It's not critical to create an ad to go up on radio or to go in the newspaper. We've disintermediated media. So influencers can include industry organizations who find your online courses, or you present the online course to them, maybe make them an affiliate partner, and then they help distribute your courses out into their network. In a sense, an influencer is where you're borrowing their network. So if you don't have a really highly engaged network yourself, it's a good idea to then find somebody who has an engaged network and ask them to come on board in some way. And there's lots of different ways to do influencer planners. One thing that I do sometimes is I ask people to co-present with me. And so that would be sort of under a featured contributor, I guess. Yeah, featured contributor. How's that sound? Oh, yeah, it's okay. Then we've got the design and the PR team. And I'm trying to think how that would work with online courses. I think it's the initial brand ambassadors that help evaluate the courses as they come out. Like, I would never go live with a course until I have some guinea pigs on board. Some of the big airlines do this, but I'm just trying to think in the online course space, it's almost certainly going to be friends and family. The problem with that is it's hard to get testimonials from them because they may not be interested in the things you're interested in. Then we tag the influencers and share with the influencers, and it's sort of a quid pro quo area. Like if you know another online course creator in your space that you get along well with, a frenemy, co-share each other's courses. And that will help you with reach. So the engagement planner helps you with engagement and engagement modeling, and influencer planner helps you with reach. Who are the influencers that could pick up your courses and tell people about them? Is there a journalist and is there a magazine in your industry, an industry magazine, and therefore there's a journalist or an editor that could talk about your courses to that industry? Is there an industry organisation? What about a small business centre near you, or a chamber of commerce? I don't know if you have them where you are, but here it's like a networking organisation of businesses in a local area. Are you solving a problem for them, which might be that they're still trying to provide training under their organisation mandate, but people are a bit zoomed out, so therefore an online course might be useful for them? Think about those sort of things. Last couple, the memory planner. I just put all the analytics down because I want to be able to look back and say, I'm a shocker for this one. It's coming up to exam week and I've forgotten to put it in my planner under the memory planner part that it's a really good idea for me to push some of the really smaller targeted courses to students who may be struggling writing an essay or preparing for an exam and are looking for some more information just to feel more secure in what they're doing. I'm a university lecturer, so I can create my content around that, but that's just an example of something. If you're a crafty online course creator and you know how to make crafts, is it possible for you to create a course that's like what to make for Mother's Day, and then make sure you promote that coming up to Mother's Day? Of course, Mother's Day is different in every country. Australia is different than America, and America is different than England. So you'd have to adapt your memory planner for the countries that you're targeting. If you were doing Mother's Day, I don't know. what other days are important? Yesterday was International Dance-a-thon Day. So if you were teaching dance classes, you might have had a how to TikTok your International Dance-a-thon Day course. I don't know. And then your planner is just to really plan your holidays and important things that are coming up so that you don't accidentally put in, I've just done this actually, you haven't accidentally put in some important piece of content slap bang in the middle of one of your busiest periods. And so if you're having a team offsite or you're just going on holidays, end of financial year is interesting because some organisations have a training budget. So I get a call in June, our end of financial year is June, and they say, we've got this training budget, we haven't spent it, can we buy your online courses but use them next year? I'm like, sure, that's not a problem. And so they'll come in and buy a whole bundle of online courses for that purpose. So yes. Seasons, obviously if you're teaching a photography course or a fashion course, seasons are important. Once you've got all these calendars done, let me go to, this is my Google Calendar. I think I've turned off everything important. Yes, I have. I thought for a moment you were going to see some things that I didn't want you to see. All right, so I've color coordinated. Now, one of the reasons I do red for promotions planner is because sometimes when I'm working with clients and we mark promotions out, everything is red. And I want them to see that everything's red, that they're doing the ask more than they're giving. And in social media, you need to give, and then ask. You can't just walk straight up to people and go, buy my course. You have to say, here's some interesting information and here's some help for you and here's some more content that I think you'll find useful. By the way, would you be interested in yada yada? So let me just see. Okay, so what we have here is the promotions, a call to action asking them to organise or do something with you. So calling on volunteers or asking people to share something. A call to action is the red one. Another one could be letting journalists and public relations of different companies know on Twitter that you've got a new course and to see if there's any interest in covering it for you. And then a Throwback Thursday competition. Like I mentioned, competitions are promotions, and then Thursday is Throwback Thursday, TBT. I've got here social media manager offsite on Friday afternoons, and that's just to indicate to me not to get caught up doing some big social media campaign. We had one where we had to make an announcement and nobody was around because they were all at an offsite, so that was a bit of a problem. Content, job of the week in your industry, if you're doing a business-to-business course, or something like Motivational Monday, putting up some content to keep people motivated in whatever it is you're helping them to achieve. Fear and aspiration is such a critical part of social media calendars. The analytics calendar, or I think I called it memory calendar, is just downloading the spreadsheets from Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, and also writing a report. Now, I've said writing a report here because I usually use this for working with groups and marketing departments. But it might be worth your while just to write a paragraph in your diary each week. What worked, what didn't. And then it's so useful to flick back and say, during summer, this happened. Or on Mother's Day, this happened. Or over Christmas, wow, there's a lot of people online, which, by the way, there is. So you'll really notice things if you even just write yourself a little note. And then get in the habit of once a week approaching an influencer, a journalist, or I know I put journalists under here under promotions, but maybe an industry organisation or an author in your industry, a CEO in your industry, a award-winning person in your industry, get in the habit of approaching them once a week and just saying, this is what I do. Would you be interested in? And ask them to audit your course, co-create a course with you, tell their network about your course, help promote your course to the industry organisation. You know the kind of thing I mean. I've also included the New South Wales school holidays in my diary because school holidays are super important for how much time parents have to do, for instance, a gated course. Like if you've got a 4-week course, they have to start on Monday and they have to finish on Friday in 4 weeks. You want to just mentally know, oh, there's school holidays there. And then the UN observance days. Let me just see in my calendar. I'm on the wrong one. This one. World Intellectual Day. Okay. World Day for Safety and Health at Work. Oh, International Dance Day is today. There you go. Let me just move out of the way. Is that better? I think it is. International Dance Day and then International Jazz Day. Are all of these going to be relevant to you? No. But if you're teaching online courses on music and you know that February the 30th is International Jazz Day, and if you want to do a mashup, on that day only your courses have a discount or a special offer or value add, or if they buy the course, they get 1 hour online mentoring with you or something like that, then it's a good idea to know that it's coming up. If I go back a week, Chinese Language Day, English Language Day, World Book Day. I think you can see where I'm going with this. Not every single International Observance Day is going to work for you, but you will come across some every so often. Which reminds me, social media, International Social Media Days, May. Isn't it? Does anybody know? Oh, it's June. Why did I think it was May? 30th of June. Guess what's going in my calendar? So, let me bring this one back. I take all of these, I color code them, and then I put them in the diary so that and I make them repeating obviously each week. I'm never at a loss what to post. If you're working with an assistant, a virtual assistant, your kids or someone else who's helping you create content and they're going to help schedule it and things like that, then also having the diary means that they're not looking around trying to figure out what content to post and when, because that's when you end up in that problem of posting up funny videos of panda bears and completely ruining your algorithm. So we don't want to do that. Let's keep going. I've got to get on to a phone call after this, so you don't need to know that. So I've got a couple of tools here, and I guess I'm not that fussed by any of them, meaning none of them my favorite. I actually have a course on social media tools, and I think I go through 50 of them, and not that keen on any of them. I'm not sure they're worth anything. The only one I actively try to stop people from using is Sprout Social, just particularly government clients and things like that. But let's have a look at these anyway. About a 6, mate. And I don't want to reconnect. So, with Hootsuite, you add a social network, and you can add Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest. Obviously not TikTok at the moment. And then once you've added your networks, you can then monitor. So monitoring is not you sharing things, it's you keeping an eye on what the questions are. So I love to create content out of people's questions. So I would add a stream, and I might say something like, I want to use the list, and I have a social media list, or I might choose keywords. You can see that, yeah. And I might use hashtag social media. And then I add the stream, and now I can check what everybody's saying about social media. So I might do social media and Q&A or social media and questions and just monitor what's going on. I can also add a list of all my influencers, so any authors, award winners, writers, I said authors, CEOs in my industry, businesses, brands, that sort of thing, I can add to a list and put in here. It can be a Twitter list or a Facebook list, it doesn't matter. Once I've added the social networks and I've done my monitoring, then the next thing that I want to do is create a post. And remember, I've been using my calendar, so I've got a good idea about the sort of things I want to be posting anyway, whether it's a content post, a promotions post, an influencer post, whatever it is. So I'm going to select the accounts I want to post to. And I could be Instagram, it can be Twitter, it can be Facebook, it can be whatever you've connected. Twitter. Don't let me post it. Sometimes I write gobbledygook and then people get very confused on Twitter what I'm doing. And then I write my text. Actually, I'll do both, because the key point here is you can post to both. There is no problem with posting to both, okay? Trust me, I'm a social media expert. People choose their poison. The only people who are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat, everything simultaneously is you and me and the comms department. Because most people say, oh, I like LinkedIn, everything else is a waste of time. Or, woohoo, Twitter's great, Facebook's just for old folks. Or, oh dear, I like Facebook. My friends are on Facebook. I don't understand those other platforms. So people choose their poison. I don't understand people when they say, oh, I can only post to one network. But post where your audiences are. Invest your time where they invest their time and when they invest their time. So if you know that they're on LinkedIn during the day and then they're on Facebook in the evening, play accordingly. Because one of the things we can do here on the bottom right-hand corner is instead of posting now, we can, schedule for later. We can set a date and time. So I could set something up to go out on LinkedIn during the day and then shift it to Twitter and Facebook in the evening. Grab all your your photos and videos and whatever else it is you're going to do, schedule it, blah, blah, blah. Save the draft. So if you want to approve it and you've got an intern or an assistant or the kids helping you, save it as a draft, at least in the beginning so you can check everything. I haven't accidentally posted this, have I? I don't know. That makes it a promotion post, but that's okay. And they'll go out on LinkedIn, Twitter, and what else do I want to talk to you about? Yeah, that'll do. And then you can add your photos and things like that. Only add photos if you have the visual story type as your audience. People are story types. If they're not visual, do not add photos. They won't see it. The algorithm won't show it to them. Discard the post. I think you get the general idea. There's a lot more to Hootsuite, a lot more under the bonnet than that. But for an online course creator who wants to just add all the networks together, like 5 Facebook pages and a Facebook group and Instagram accounts and YouTube channels, and wants everything in one place, and then to post things up and have them go everywhere and be able to go in and see the schedule of what's going out. Do you say schedule or schedule? I don't know. Another equivalent is buffer. Excuse me. Coughing again. And again, you've always got to reconnect. I think it's LinkedIn. So you've got to reconnect channels regularly, or it gets a bit weird. Okay, I'm starting to cough. But again, you can go in and you can publish to the platforms, you can look at the analytics, and then you can look at the comments that are coming in as well. And the reason I wanted Buffer App and Hootsuite up here is I thought that they might be the ones more interesting for you. Whew. Okay, so if you want a copy of this and a screenshot of the calendar, come to my blog, laurelpapworth.com, which is on the screen here. And I will put other resources up as well, including other videos that I've made on content calendars. I just needed this one to be short, sharp and shiny for online course creators to not just think, I've got to put something up on social media. I don't know what to put up. So you've got some ideas now, I hope. Okay, if you haven't seen the rest of the videos in the series, they're in the playlist and the albums on Facebook and YouTube. LinkedIn and Twitter don't have them, but I think they're under the Edusocial hashtag. And Monday, 10:45 a.m. is social media news. That's when I play with my tech and also look at the news and catch up on the news with you. That's live. And then Thursdays is the next lecture series. The next lecture, still within this series, is online course creation as part of a corporate umbrella. So I want to go through corporate, government, non-profits that have online courses to give you some idea about how they do them for B2C. So they're dealing with, this is for customers, this is not for internal employees. This is Facebook's courses for Facebook users. This is Google's courses for Google advertisers. Interesting courses. I hope you found that interesting, and if you have any questions, if you have any examples of companies that do online courses, please let me know. Many, many years ago, decades ago, I helped set up Cisco's CCNA courses online, and so I have quite a lot of interest in building brand ambassadors through online courses for corporates. I don't know, maybe you do, maybe you don't. All right. Thank you. And I will see you on Monday or Thursday.